Do you remember the first fishing combo you ever got? Maybe it had some kind of cartoon or superhero character on it, but have you seen the prices today for those basic combos? All you get is a spin cast reel, and that's even running around $30. Well, let me tell you about the OddsPro Beginner Fishing Kit. This comes with a carry case, all the tackle you might need, and the combo. It's the perfect mix of affordability, durability, and portability. Let's take a quick look at the OddsPro Starter Fishing Kit. The OddsPro Starter Fishing Kit comes in two colors. It comes in this blue here and also in a pink. Now inside, you're going to get a kid's guide to fishing, which has a lot of tips and guidelines to get your little angler started the right way. Also in the kit, you're going to get a nice little tackle box. I'll get this out here. And this is going to have everything you need, from jigs to grubs to even a little ringing bell if you want to just set up some live bait. Now we'll take a better look at this here in a second. Also in this kit is a practice fishing lure that you can cast pretty much anywhere. Doesn't have a hook attached to it, not gonna hurt anything, just a little bit of weight to get that lure out there. Now inside the kit here, you can see the spin cast rod and also the reel. Again, perfect whether or not it's in this case for portability. It's got a nice little cover here on the eyelets to protect those during travel. I'll take this guide off of here, and you can see how it expands. Again, these telescopic rods are really, really nice. So there you go, that's the rod. Now let's take a look at the reel. The reel is also set in here in the case. And we'll take a look at this real quick. When it gets delivered, it's gonna have this little ring here, and that keeps the line from going back onto the spool. So what you're gonna wanna do is pull this out, loosen up that drag, cut this off, and we're ready to attach this to the pole and also thread the line through the guides. Let's go. All right, detach the ring here. Now I have the line flowing freely. Now with the rod in one hand and the reel in the other, you're gonna wanna take the end of the reel that has the line coming out of it and have that pointing upwards towards those eyelets. You're gonna wanna take this end right here of that reel, stick it into that base of the rod, and then with the other side, you're gonna wanna tighten that down to secure it. And there you go, fully mounted. Now it's time to thread the line through the rod. You're gonna wanna make sure that all of the eyelets of the rod line up with this exit port for the line on the reel. Now, once that's done, what you're gonna do is you're gonna press this button right here. This button on the reel is the bail release, and that's gonna release the spin cast reel so that you can draw some line out. Go ahead and you'll hear that little click, and then we're gonna go ahead and thread the line through the eyelets. Be careful that you run it through each eyelet and that it runs all the way through the end of the rod. Okay, I have the line run through all of the eyelets, and I'm gonna pull the end all the way back down to where the reel's at. And now I'm gonna take this end of the line and I'm gonna attach the practice lure to it. Now to tie this on, we're gonna do what's called a Palomar knot. What you're gonna do is take this line right here, the end of it, you're gonna slip it through the eyelet of the practice lure, thread it through, and then you're gonna wanna run it back through the eyelet the same way you came through the first time. So there you go, it's gonna kind of hang like that. Now what you're gonna wanna do is kind of like tying shoelaces. You're gonna wanna loop the line back through itself, tighten it down a little bit, and then you're gonna swing this back up underneath and around the lure and back up the top. Now depending on the line, you might wanna moisten it, because what you don't want is that line to melt as you tighten it up, and that'll weaken the line at the lure. So there you have it, it's all tightened up with that Palomar knot, all good and snug. And what you're gonna wanna do is cut off this tag line here so that there's not a stray line kind of hanging out. Now that we have the casting lure in place, let's show you how to cast the line. Now before you cast, the first thing you wanna do is you wanna make sure, hear that? You wanna make sure the drag, which is what puts tension on the line when the fish are fighting, where the plus and minus are, you're gonna wanna tighten that down towards the plus symbol. You want your drag to be tight enough so that that lure doesn't pull that line out and that you physically have to pull this out a little bit. That's gonna give you the proper drag setting. All right, let's go show you how to cast the spin cast reel. All right, now we're gonna go over how to cast with the OddsPro spin cast reel. Now the first thing you wanna notice is, see how the lure up there is real tight to the tip? You don't want to cast your lures like that. What you want to do is release that bail and have the lure, say maybe a foot to 6 inches off the tip of that rod. Then what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to depress that bail. You're going to want to swing back and then release that bail. See how easy that was? Let's go over it once again. All right, as you can see, that thing cast a mile. Again, what we're going to do is make sure that our drag is set right. I want to pull on that with just enough tension that I have to give it a little bit of work, but not so light that the lure itself pulls that drag out. Okay, I'm going to reel that lure back in again to about a foot, maybe between 6 inches and a foot away from the tip of the rod. We're going to go ahead and depress that bail again. We're going to bring the rod back, and with a swinging action, we're going to let go of that bail button at the apex. And you see how far out that cast? Ooh, that seagull likes it, that's for sure. And we're going to go ahead and reel it back in. Now we're going to show you an overhead cast, and again, you want to check your surroundings and make sure that behind you there's no objects or no people that the lure could get snagged up on. And what we're going to do is we're going to depress that bail button right there. We're going to bring it back up over our shoulder, and then we're going to release the button as we get to the top or the apex of the cast, just like this. And off it goes. And it went quite a ways. This Odds Pro combo really casts far. Your little ones are going to have no problem getting those lures out there. Now we're going to do a sidearm cast. Again, we're going to keep this about 12 inches or so away from the tip of the rod. We're going to go ahead and depress that button, check our surroundings, and make sure there's no objects or no people around us to get snagged up on. We're going to take the rod and we're going to release that bail as we come around with that swing. And again, this thing casts a mile. And now we're going to show a pitching and flipping cast where we're going to take the lure and cast it out kind of shallow in front of us. Again, depressing the bail, and I'm just going to kind of flick and release, and off goes the lure into the water. And when you're done fishing for the day, these telescopic collapsible rods really break down easily. Watch. That's all there is to it. Now let's take a look at the accessory kit that you get with your Odds Pro Starter Combo Kit. Now the Odds Pro tackle box has quite an assortment of lures. Here is a hard-bodied floating jerkbait. Beautiful colors on that. The set also comes with a couple of different bobbers, and also you have some jig heads here. One in red, one in chartreuse. Those would be good to throw those grubs on. It also comes with some weights, you'll see here, along with some smaller EWG hooks. You got some bobber stoppers, and you got your grubs. Quite an assortment. So as you can see, this accessory kit alone is worth the money that you're paying for this entire combo and the carry bag. Coming in at just under $30, this is a super affordable option for your young angler. It's a perfect gift for the holidays, birthdays, or just because you love them. Thanks for checking out the Odds Pro Starter Combo, and as always, tight lines and live to fish.